Hello, 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 beautiful people. Hello, 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 beautiful people. So I'm excited to be here today because I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons you need to build your personal brand and how you can get started today. All right. So I have a lot to share today, and I'm really excited about this topic because I feel like a lot of people kind of are not quite sure, right, why they need to be building a personal brand. Personal branding is starting to gain a lot of traction, it's starting to get a lot of buzz, and I want to really help you understand why it's important for you to build a personal brand, especially if you're an executive woman of color or you are a business owner woman of color. All right. So let me first introduce myself in case you're not sure who I am. My name is Melanie personal branding consultant, self-marketing expert, and content writer. And I work with executive women of color to build their credibility, their thought leadership, and authority without sacrificing authenticity. Okay, these are typically women in the corporate world at the director level of above, in the C suite, or these are also business owners who are really looking to make a bigger impact on their industries, on their communities, and the world, right? And so together, I really help them to elevate their reach, their reputation, and their revenue, all through the power of personal branding. Now, before we dive in, I want to make sure you understand what personal branding is all about. Personal branding, like I said, is getting a lot of buzz, but I'm not quite sure people understand the purpose behind it, right? So, personal branding is some activities you take with intentionality so that you can actually start to reach people, start to shape perspectives, and really make an impact on people so that you can get some outcome, right? So, whatever outcome that looks like for a lot of my clients, it looks like I want more speaking gigs. I want to start a consultancy. I want to start a mentoring program, right? And so it could be I want to get a higher paying job. And so I want you to understand that personal branding is not the end result. Personal branding is the means to some end, right? And so you definitely want to make sure that you understand that you're not building your brand just to build it. You're building your brand for some reason. And a lot of the times that reason is tied to some financial gain, right? Not every time, but a lot of the times it's tied to some financial gain. Whether you're looking to, get a higher paying job or get more clientele, get more customers, right? And so you want to be you want to understand why you're doing this. And we're going to dive into that as well a little bit later. But I wanted to give you one statistic that I thought was interesting, right? And it says 63% of Americans are likely to buy from a person who has built a personal brand. And so if this is, if your goal is to start a business, get more customers, get more clients, etc., then you definitely going to want to take a look into building your personal brand. Excuse me. So here's the first reason. Reason number one, why you want to build your personal brand is differentiation, right? You want to be different. You want to stand out, right? It's competitive out here. There's so many marketing messages out here. There's so many people pushing information at you all the time. How are you going to stand out? Right. And so building your personal brand, it really helps you to set yourself apart from the crowd. Right. And it's about highlighting those unique skills, your specific experiences, your perspectives that you bring to the table so that people know and understand how you are different. I'm going to take myself as an example, right? So, as you all know, I do personal branding. So, what's the difference between me and other personal branding experts that are out here, which are a gazillion and growing, right? Because this is really starting to boom a lot now. And so here's a few things that make me different and unique. One, I have a very clear niche, right? I work specifically with women of color. I really, really hone in on that. Do I have clients outside of that demographic? Sure. Will I work with them? Absolutely. But I really want to focus in on that. And that is my area of expertise. Why? Because I am a woman of color. And I understand the unique challenges that we go through when we're looking to build our brands and really make impact on our industries. And so I was able to do that for myself. And I have a framework to help other people do the same thing. Right. And so my stories, right, my experiences, all of those things really help me to position myself as someone that is unique in the personal branding space. Another thing, I have a very specific framework for what makes strong personal brand, right? Fair, the FAIR brand, focus, authentic, impactful, relevant. It's just an acronym, FAIR. And so no one else really has that specific framework on how they're building their clients' brands, right? Another thing that makes me unique is my approach, right? A lot of people, when you think personal branding, they're talking about logos, right? They're talking about photo shoots, they're talking about brand aesthetics, graphics, right? Images. And we don't start there in my camp. We got to start at the root because we have to dig deeper, right? I'm a firm believer in digging deeper because surface won't suffice. And if you want to truly build a strong personal brand, we really need to get deep and do some of the work that's not that sexy to really make sure that we're showing up powerfully. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in a few. Okay. So differentiation is the first thing. The other thing, you want to build your personal brand to improve your network, right? Because your network is your net worth. I know we've heard that several times. And so I want to make sure that you understand that your network is going to be powerful and it only grows once you start building your personal brand. When you have connections, then you are able to really capitalize on more opportunities because at the end of the day, when you start putting yourself out there with intention, more people are going to understand what you do, how you do it, and how you can help other people. So now what? You're going to start getting more referrals. You're going to start getting more people wanting to work with you, right? And this goes for both in online and in person. So when you start showing up more, and start reaching out to people and connecting with more people and sharing your story more, trust me, your inbox is going to start bumping, your email is going to start bumping, right? And all these opportunities are going to start to open up because your network is going to start to get bigger and really grow. And it's going to grow with quality because you're building your brand in a specific way with, again, intention. You're not going to get randomers contacting you. You're going to get the right people contacting you. And so this is going to be really, really, really important for those looking to collaborate and things like that. All right. Number 3, you're going to be able to start to drive change. Now, this is what I was talking about before, where I mentioned, my clients really wanting to make an impact because at the end of it all, yes, we do want financial gain, but it's really about that impact that you're making, right? The money is going to be a byproduct of the impact that you're making. And so when you start to build your personal brand, now you're going to start to drive change because you're going to start telling your story so other people can be inspired, so you can change other people's way of thinking, so you can show other people your perspective and really shift their thoughts around a certain idea, right? This is very, very powerful stuff. Very, very powerful stuff. And I want you to understand that this is a great reason to start a personal brand. If you really want to drive change and make an impact, personal branding is the way to go. Start building your brand. And when I say build your brand, I mean put yourself out there, tell your story. And we'll get into what that looks like also in just a few. Number 4, start to regain control of your career. So basically, So one of my clients came to me to build her brand because she said she wanted to safeguard her future. So pretty much, she didn't want to just have to depend on updating a resume and applying online all the time. She wanted to start building her brand so that companies and colleagues and bosses, right, and vendors and all these people in her sphere of influence will start to recognize that she is valuable. And that way, no matter what the economic climate, they will know her for something specific. So now, when it's time to transition into another job, into another career, if you want to get promoted, you want board position, for example, you've built your personal brand to the point where people trust that you're going to be able to come in and do what needs to be done because your promise of value shows, right? This is definitely one of the keys to unlocking new opportunities and really reaching your next level, right? So it's about protecting your future and really showcasing your expertise to safeguard your career. Because no matter what, people are going to know and understand the results that you're able to generate, and they're going to trust you to come in and create that outcome or something similar for them as well. So no matter what's going on, you will be the go to person. And that is so, so powerful. And the last reason that I want to talk about today is for why you should be building your personal brand is to leave a legacy. A strong personal brand really helps to shape your legacy. And this is pretty much what people are going to be thinking about and talking about as it relates to you after you are gone from this planet. It's about what people are going to say at your funeral. It's about what you're going to leave to your children, right? What your name will stand for throughout generations. I was watching, my husband is big into Food Network, and I was watching some show, and they were talking about the James Beard Award. And I'm like, who is James Beard? Right? So I Googled him. That man died in 1985. It is now 2023, and I'm still Googling him because his legacy is so strong. He was a pioneer in the I guess in the TV food industry. And so a lot of people are still winning awards in his name. That is legacy, folks. That is legacy. And so you have to start planting the seeds to be able to leave a strong legacy. And, as it relates to us, right, women of color, here's the thing. We have always been kind of given our narrative, right? You guys are angry Black women, you're aggressive, you're combative, and all these kind of negative stereotypes. But what if we started telling our own stories? So that the people of the world can start to appreciate our passion versus just throwing us into the angry Black woman category. That is the power of building your personal brand, right? So with a strong personal brand, now you're going to have the power. You're going to take your power back and tell the world who you are, and then be celebrated for who you are even in your death. Woo! That alone is worth building your personal brand and putting forth some effort to really be strategic in how you show up. Okay. So those are the 5 reasons that I wanted to talk to you about in terms of why you need to be building your personal brand. Differentiation, improve your network, drive change, leave a legacy, and career control. Okay. So you want to control your career, you want to drive change, you want to improve your network, you want to differentiate yourself, and you want to leave a legacy. Those are the 5 reasons. All right. So now that you understand the reasoning and you feel like, you know what, Mel, you're onto something with this. Like, I'm with you. How do you get started building your personal brand? Because it seems like a whole lot going on. And so I want to talk about how you can get started today, okay, with building your personal brand. I broke this down into 6 steps. All right. And so the first step is really about doing that self reflection. I think this is one of the biggest downfalls that people have when they start to try to build a personal brand because they don't take the time to really dig deep and understand, get really intimate with who they are and what they stand for and what they're passionate about, right? Because your personal brand should be authentic to you. And a lot of people are out here fronting. They're not being authentic on a day to day basis. So now, when it's time to put a brand out and put themselves out there, they're probably putting out the fake version of themselves. They're probably putting out the version of themselves that they think people want to see, right? The perfect version of themselves. The version of themselves where they don't mess up and they don't have problems and everything is great and they're successful, right? And it's based on a lie. Let's be real. It's based on a lie. And here's the thing about personal branding. You can build a personal brand that is totally fake. You can definitely do that. I've seen it several times. But the truth will always set you free. People can see through that. Even though now it's getting harder and harder to really figure out what's real because of artificial intelligence, it's more important than ever for you to really be real and really do that self reflection and really make sure you know who you are. Because once you start putting yourself out there, baby, and you don't know who you are and you're just randomly putting out information and you haven't done that unsexy work, when the trolls come for you, you're going to break, right? So you want to make sure you do that work and really reflect on what it is, who you are, and who you are at your core so that you can be more resilient, right? And understand that this is it, this is who I am, and I'm not ashamed and I'm not afraid, right? So this could look like putting together a personal mission statement, right? So you always kind of know that North Star. You can always know where you're going, where you're headed, why you are doing this work, right? Which brings me to the next step, which is defining your goals, right? You got to really understand, like I said in the beginning, personal branding is not the end result. Personal branding is the means to some end. So, what is the end for you? What is that vision, right? What does that look like? Is it about, getting a CFO role? Is it about making $1 million in your business? Is it about mentoring, 500 young women, right? What does all this look like? Is it a book that is, have been read by millions of people? What is the vision? What is all this for? What does all this look like? I have a huge, huge vision. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it in my lifetime, but I want to contribute to the vision. And my vision is that collectively, women of color stop code switching, period. And we show up authentically in any space so that the world starts to understand how to treat us. That is my big vision, right? And so, what is your vision? Why are you doing this? Why are you starting to post online? Why are you building that website? Why are you starting this business? What does this all look like, right? And define what it looks like for you, the individual that is creating the brand, and what it looks like for the people that you want to impact, the people that you want to touch, the lives you want to touch. What does that look like? Because that is how you're going to keep going. Your why has to be big enough. So if you haven't figured out your why, baby, you're gonna be lost in the sauce, right? You have to understand your why and map out those goals. Set them up, write them down, look at them daily so that you can know that you're on the right track. Once you do that, it's going to also be easier for you to discern what opportunities are for you and what opportunities are not necessarily in alignment with your goals, right? So that's step number 2. Step number 1 was self reflection, and step number 2, define those goals. The next step is to really identify your unique value, right? Start to jot down things that makes you special. Some of the questions you can ask is, what was the moment that you decided to do this work? Or what do other people come to you for all the time, right? What situation pushed me into taking this path? What have I overcome to get me where I am now? Right. So those type of questions to really start to help you understand what makes you special, unique. And then do a little bit of homework, do a little bit of digging to see what's out there already. Right. And it's not to look at others and compare, right? It's not to look at others and say, oh, this person's so much better than me. This is a waste of my time. Why am I even doing this? It's for you to look at them as one, inspiration to see, like, okay, it can be done. Someone else is doing it. And two, to see what is missing. What's the gap? What is missing out there that you can now come in and fill, right? For me, I don't see a lot of people talking about personal branding specifically for women of color, right? There's a lot of other things around women of color. I haven't seen a whole lot of personal branding. And so I am filling a gap. You see what I mean? So that's what I mean about really identifying the gap and then positioning yourself so you're unique. The next thing, step number 4, pinpoint your people, right? So who do you want to draw in? Now, you are not for everyone. You are not for everybody, baby. So don't be afraid to say, I work with moms. I work with single moms, right? Don't be afraid to say that, because at the end of the day, you're going to get other people outside of that niche. It's about really getting narrowly focused so that that is your focal point and everything else will become bonus, extra, right? But you want to make sure you're talking directly to your people. And even if you're not necessarily in a business situation and you're, in corporate and you're looking to potentially get another job, then your audience may be recruiters at certain companies, right? Or in a certain industry. It could be hiring managers, it could be the HR folks. But what is the situation that they're going through as well? So it's pinpointing your people is about demographics, right? So things that make them up as a people. So for example, age, salary range, job titles, those type of things, but also situational, right? So these are situational. So things that maybe they're going through right now, scenarios that they're struggling with right now. So for me, it's people, my people are looking to make a bigger impact, right? So this could be a company who, had struggles and now they're looking to rebrand themselves or regrow. And you have a certain expertise that goes with that, right? So now it's about you connecting the dots, digging deeper, like I said before, digging deeper to figuring out what makes you special or unique, filling the gap, and then talking about it in a way in which they will connect with you because you're bringing that experience to the table, right? Similar to what I said earlier about me having experiences as a woman of color in my industry, and now other women of color have similar struggles, right? And I'm able to speak to those things. And that's what makes me unique over maybe someone else who have not had those specific struggles. All right. So that's pinpoint your people. The next step, position yourself. So you've done all up until now has all been background work. If you notice, all of these steps have been things that you're doing on your own behind the scenes before you post anything. These are the things that I really want you to focus in on, because when it's time to post, you're going to be crystal clear. So on this step about positioning yourself, this is about taking all this information and now putting yourself out there in a way that is going to be meaningful, right? So this could be creating your LinkedIn profile. This could be creating your website, right? This could be starting a blog, starting a podcast. There's tons and tons of different ways to position yourself. And especially in today with, internet, how it is, you better have some type of online presence. Okay. So thinking about the outcomes of the people that you want to touch is going to really help you to position yourself. So once you've done this work and you figured out, okay, what's the gap? What makes me unique? Who are my people? Why am I doing this? Now you could position yourself as the solution, as the expert, as the go-to authority. And then step 5 is start marketing yourself, right? So you got your profile up or your website up or your blog started. Now it's time to start sharing your expertise and creating content related to your industry or your niche. And this could be anything. I mean, anything: articles, blog posts, videos, reels, TikTok, podcast, whatever. The key here is about being consistent, meaning having the same message across the board, but also meaning showing up regularly so that your people know when to find you, where to find you, and can know what you're going to expect, right? Every Tuesday, I drop an episode. So I'm being consistent. And so I want you to make sure that you're consistently showing up and your message is the same. I have said things in this session right here that I have said before. But everyone's not listening to every single episode. Everyone's not listening to every single, live stream that I do. And so it's important for me to stay consistent by repeating my message because not everyone's going to hear every single thing. The other thing is you want to also market yourself by networking. We talked about networking a little bit before, but really connecting with others to build that sense of community is also a very key piece in marketing yourself. So I want you to map out a game plan for where you're going to show up. So go back to think about the people that you pinpointed. Remember I said pinpoint your people? Where do those folks hang out? If it's online, where do they hang out? Are they hanging out on LinkedIn? Are they looking up stuff on YouTube? Are they visiting blog sites? Right? Are they on Facebook? Are they on TikTok? Where are they? Where do they hang out? And then where do they hang out in real life? Right? Are they, going to industry conferences or networking events? Right? You need to start going there and showing up and talking to people. Right? Talking to people so that you can start to really show up to the point where they know and understand who you are, what you do, how you do it, who you help. Because that's where you're going to start seeing the benefits, like we talked about before, in terms of building your network, building your visibility, and really making a change in the industry, your community, and the world. Okay. So, funny enough, these 6 steps, these are things that I help my clients with as they work with me, right? This is a part of the framework, very truncated version in my Empower Presence program. So check that out if you are interested in getting support with this, because this is not easy, right? This is not easy. As my husband would say, this is dirty work. Not dirty, nasty. He says this is nasty work. You could get in the trenches and really get lost. You can really get lost in this stuff because there's so many things to consider. So if you need support and you need someone to keep you, focused and really help you to pull out the things that's going to be most relevant to you and your audience, then let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. You could just go to chatwithmel.com and book a call. It's free. Let's talk about your plans. Let's talk about what you want. Let's talk about your vision. Let's start really figuring out how you can start to build this personal brand so you can really make that impact that you want to make. Right? Let's talk about it because this is not easy, y'all. It's not easy. I'm giving you a lot of information here, right? I've been talking now for a good 30 minutes. A lot of information I packed in here. And taking each of these things that I'm talking about and really, really doing that not so sexy work is really going to make a huge difference when you show up and really start to build your personal brand. All right. So it's a continuous, ongoing process, y'all. So, building your brand is not something you do one day and then next day your brand is built and you're done. Nah, not even a little bit. I have been building my brand since like 2009, 2010, when I closed my other ratchet Facebook profile and opened up a brand new one because I wanted to really be true to who I wanted to be as a businesswoman, right? And so I've been building my brand for a while. I've been protecting my brand for a while. And now I'm in a whole different chapter as I'm no longer doing resumes, but I'm still building personal brands. I'm still helping people articulate their value. I'm still helping people to really differentiate themselves. I'm doing it now on a grander scale. Anyway, I just want to now close and just, close and let you know that This is not going to be an easy, quick thing. Building a personal brand takes time. It takes resilience. It takes, some effort. It takes some time. But I'll tell you what, if you don't make the time now, it's going to cost you your legacy on the back end. So you make your decision, right? You make your decision and you decide if you want to build your personal brand today or not. All right? Awesome. Well, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Until next time, happy self-marketing. Hey Ingrid.